Elder Wang questions Ye Chen about the token's extraordinary performance despite its lowest grade of fine metal, and the presence of some simple rune combinations on it. At this time, Ye Chen feels necessitate to impart knowledge from his previous life to these elderly people. That's right, Ye Chen isn't from this world, rather, he traversed from Earth. He arrived in this world 37 years ago, was discovered by his master when he was 17, and was brought to the Tianyan Holy Land. He attained different accomplishments via his own hard work and reached the immortality phase in only 20 years. Taking the place of the Saint Lord. The magical token imitates his previous life's mobile phone. Back in the present, on the screen, he demonstrated how the token works to the elders. He shows them the base station picture that does the most important work, but the old folks could not grasp the concepts at all. As a result, he describes in a more simplified manner how the base station receives requests and establishes the link between the two communication tokens. But the group of people were still baffled. Elder Wang, on the other hand, was the first to figure out what Ye Chen really wanted to express. Ye Chen promptly justified and commented on his comprehension. Everyone in the hall understood the notion after Elder Wang's deduction, but they still wanted to know what the base station was. Ye Chen was silent for a time before smirkingly revealing that it was the celestial book of Tianyan Holy Land which supported him in creating the base station. The elders were startled since it was referred to as a sacred artifact of their holy land. Ye Chen confirms with them that he has been studying Tianyan's divine book on a regular basis since rising to the position of Lord. He argues that the book was never meant to be a weapon, but rather to have an immense ability for computation and deduction. He continues by recounting how, in the past, the Tianyan Immortal built his fighting capability by deducing from the holy text. The elders were astounded by Ye Chen's talent and wonders what his true intent was. For Ye Chen, the celestial book of Tianyan possesses incredible deduction ability, and if placed in his previous universe, it would have been an overbalanced supercomputer with infinite processing capacity. Ye Chen then explains his future plans for expanding the network and creating the internet for the entire heavenly globe while collecting fees for communication services, not limiting them to simply a few spiritual stones but creating a commercial conglomerate that will eventually rule the celestial world. Despite his compelling reasons, the elders were concerned that something would go wrong because the sacred artifact constituted the foundation of their holy land. But Ye Chen tells them that everything would be okay and that they need not worry. From his point of view, the sum of all the supercomputers from his previous universe is less than a tenth of the heavenly book. Anyway, Ye Chen declared the communication token a crucial business industry for their holy land in order to resolve financial concerns. Following his declaration, every elder bows to him. He then delegated work to the elders, but he forbade them from using metal from outside. The elders are perplexed. Ye Chen then explains that the fine metal provided by the sect has been altered by the celestial book's qi and can be examined for authenticity by the celestial book, and only those objects made of the fine metal will be recognized and approved to speak with each other via the base station. Following his statement, the elders ask how much to keep the price of the item because they intend to sell it for 10 high-grade spiritual stones. Ye Chen couldn't help but groan at their conservative mentality. He then stands up swiftly and ejects their predetermined fee, which is too exorbitant if they want everyone in the celestial globe to use it. However, the elders remain cautious since they anticipated relatively low returns. Nevertheless, Ye Chen shattered their rationale by saying that despite the decreased price, it would allow them to earn more. The elders, who were still cautious, inquired as to how. Ye Chen, with a cool smile, adds that the token will be free for the first year, and thereafter a payment charge will be required to continue using the communication service. The elderly individuals could not understand what he had just stated and were left perplexed, asking how it can be possible to receive fees even after selling the goods. Every transaction in their life was a single transaction, and the concept Ye Chen suggested was completely foreign to them. During the heated scenario, an elder knelt on the ground and congratulated Ye Chen for his brilliant business ideas, which surprised everyone in the room. Ye Chen, on the other hand, remained cool and was softly diluting his tea. While sipping his tea, he inquired whether they could cultivate without the use of spiritual stones. To persuade them to work on this notion, he goes on to describe how a disciple requires spiritual stones to buy spiritual plants to refine pills, for a spiritual pet, or to produce arrays. Finally, he questions if a cultivator would still be unwilling to invest spiritual stones in the future when everyone has communication tools. The elders maintain their silence. He inquired with Elder Shi about purchasing a batch of fine metal from the Central Affairs Office for his personal use. Elder Shi respectfully responds that they have a significant quantity of fine metal quarries saved for long-term usage and do not need to buy them from outside. He delegated Elder Wang to inspire the item refining master for a few days, allowing each refiner a salary of 10 contribution points. He tasked the others with preparing shops and training the disciples to sell the items. Elder Wang finally inquired about the item's name. Ye Chen considered it for a moment before naming it Tianyan Ringtone.